Sometimes I swear I've been alive for 1,000 years. I feel it deep inside, creaking, cracking, calcified bones, a withered and weary skeleton ready to be dug up and displayed in a museum, looking not a day older than Tutankhamun. Perhaps it's been 65 million years and I've outlived the dinosaurs. Yes, I think I was there that fateful day when the world was suddenly set ablaze. But I can't be sure. These days, I just don't remember much anymore. Only faded scenes on Nan's Super 8, spliced together out of order, playing in the theatre of my mind's eye. No sound, just a rat-a-tat-a-tat hum. Shaky steps on the front lawn in summer. A trip to the beach, sandcastles and sandfield sandwiches. Christmas morning after Santa's been. 3 years old and a Swedish sauna. People in funny clothes that I knew once. Some dared, some too scared to live. Like that man walking down the driveway. Tall, thin and olive-skinned. That's Dad, but I don't know him. Not anymore. And Mum is there too. So young, I almost don't recognize her. But the sadness in her eyes is familiar. Eyes of iridescent sapphire. And she smiles, but I don't believe her. In the golden glow of the projector, it's like I'm watching someone else's movie. A pervy old voyeur in someone else's home. A parasite who's taken over. An imposter in someone else's body. Watching memories bubble up. Champagne effervescence. As I shake the bottle, pop the cork, and toast to my next 1,000 years.
The strangest things in this world are our eyes. 7 billion eyes, and half of them blind. Suffocating movements through air alone, anger and frustration burn all sight from grace. Language, in tongues swollen and tongues cut from the organic narration of the mind, now broken mechanics and fractured speak, laying waste. At the sight of children turn triggers and minerals turn malevolent. The oiling gear that sticks and slides is tar and not malleable, not broken, yet more difficult than ever before. A before not considered for a mock king sitting on a leather horse, spoiled from birth, target for stones, jealousy and curses and soft mind. Easily turned over in the dirt, a lost coin of estimated worth. Forgotten in all meaning and replaced with stats and figures. This is how it is. But that is never true. So why, in bleak moments starved of anything better to do, on the frigid outskirts of new beginning, do we curse and throw stones from no glass house? No house at all, nothing, not a thing. Starved, cursed, mocked. Fault none but his own and owned exclusively in his estate. The weight of a warped world, a dual soul, a dual vision. Never seeing what is right, thus never hearing what is wrong. Warping words turned around a serpent's tongue. To be used for things neither meaningful nor meaningless. Neither personal nor business. Nothing, nothing at all. A plot where a house used to be. A painting from a spirit long faded. A jar, empty. Nothing, nothing at all.
So I'd like to preface this, or preface. I never quite know if it's preface or preface. So I'll preface this preface just by stating that everything you're about to see is completely memorized. It's premeditated. I'm going to be improvising it all on the spot, just making it up, okay? I don't know how to read nothing. This one is called Awkward Date. Now, a couple of years ago, I went on a date with a girl from Laos. We met in a white dome, palace of clothes, and can't do that here because the coffee will spoil. Boiling out of her mouth were words that requested adoption, a home to set up shop, and bake muffins to sell to little bubs that cry if there are no chopped chips wandering the doughy desert they're scouring. Souring on her appetite for begging information as if she worked in the postal service and wanted to see my ID, That's expired and a federal crime to keep. Says I want to be police of clothes. Just give me my package and leave me alone. At home, she doesn't date. Late in the morning, yet shaking this feeling that she's scratching me out, is a fleeing figure even I can't flee. Fleas crawl between us as she touches my arm. No harm will come to those that have a shield hidden under their vest. It's in your vested interest to protect that which is most precious to you. So why am I putting my heart on display, asking people to look at it and critique it like it's pretending to be a moaning Lisa? No, she was a teacher. Mona Lisa is the punchline to a joke I just missed. Kiss cascades from her lips, but was she talking the band or the action? My mind has gone inactive. You tell her your story. She laughs. It's good. You're doing good. And everything is good because your date is good. Things escalate, and before you know it, you're in a bush, bashing off bunyips, bellowing for you to bang! It's a date. A good date. And good dates go out with a bang! The girl from Laos opens her blouse and you look in. She grabs your hand and pulls it inside the hole. All that is holy. This is solely the reason you are asked here. The hole sucks you inside. And what is this? Why is there a human in sight? You turn to run, but the road is gone. You're gone. Everything is gone. Gone. Until the next day, when we have coffee and I ask you how the date was. You tell me that you didn't have a date. That was me. I sip my double shot soy mocha at 50 degrees and I laugh. Oh, Susan, you're such a jester.
Google triptych. 1. I see two brothers waist deep in Horseshoe Bay, crimson, wearing their summer on their skin. Today they're learning that catching a wave is like being fitted with a pair of angel's wings. Each time the fresh surf slices the swimmers in half, the boys roar, limbs unhinged amongst the foam, craning their necks, checking that the other hasn't been swallowed up. Oi, if you drown on me, I'll show Mum your Google history. Their mother squats on dry land, oblivious. She's chucking an oyster over a paper plate, skirt draped over her broad lap like a hammock, cradling sweat and curdled sunscreen. 2. Google, what's my legacy? Through this mesh of blue, do I wait, clutching at my bowl of browning fruit, halo of house flies, binge drinking spoiled milk, listening for his laugh outside my bedroom door? Google, which is easier to master, transparency or self-hypnosis? Show me an acne treatment made from briar weeds, or better yet, teach me how to lucid dream. And is it obvious that I'm holding his name in my mouth like a piece of chewing gum? Google, I swear I heard you call for me, unhinged and glinting. Has the weather always been this oppressive? I need syrup or sun, or wet earth caked underneath my fingernails, 10 brown crescent moons. Google, when am I ovulating? Can I pay $10.99 to avoid reincarnation? 3. There's a thick file on my search history, someplace in California. A pure woman faithfully presented, a summer thwarted. As I smear ointment on my sandfly bites, Google is dripping in velvet, patiently waiting on the other side of the confessional box.
The truly great man makes himself. When I was propelled out of that bubbling cauldron of lava, I knew I would make my mark on the world. I burst out of the mountain, I oozed and then hardened, rolled and flaked, crashed through and cleared the way, and now I'm here, proud of what I've made of myself, solid as a rock. If you had my get up and go, maybe you'd make something of yourself too. But some people are just take. But But who are my obligations to? No one. I got myself here. I made myself. Yes, my flanks are shrinking a little where the water flows, but who doesn't want to stay trim? Yes, there's some moss growing, but who doesn't want a garden on a good sized block? Yes, there's the water rushes, but I see the world through a frosted window of foaming water. And though I lose a little of myself every day, I stay of good cheer. As the grains of sands trickle away in a million pieces, my influence is spreading.
I put on my beard now. I black beard, barbe bleu. I unglue. I turn inside me out. In twin now. Put on my shoes on wrong feet. Put wrong feet on my shoes now. I have did come undone now. I am done undo. I turn my coat wrong way round to me. Turn my head now, whizzy dizzy head. You make me dizzy, Miss Lizzie, now dizzy me, dizzy, dizzy. You undo me, I unmake me, I undo what I do now. I do was in here, turn my head around, then a man on motorcycle now, who put on zip jacket because I broke me, I undo me, because I broke me, undo me, because I break me, undo me, because I break me here, undo me, said that I was on a motorcycle now, and zip nasty me, that zip unzip and broke and fit me and had and no feel me, no that I can't feel me or that something happens to me, and I push said, I freeze me said that freeze me said, that wait the black and back, but I block me said, you block me said, you can't or speak me or do me, I lock me in a house, outhouse, in there lock, who locks me now, in a chains of a love, look what happens to me, I love undo me, I put me wrong way round now, I put my head wrong way round now, because I put on my head wrong way round now. Why? I put on my coat wrong way round now. Why? Because I put my head on wrong way round now. Here and here. I put my head on wrong way now. Put my beard on whiz now. I put my head on wrong way now. I put my head on wrong way there. I put my head on wrong way here.
I've always wanted to go into the wild, where the trees touch the moon and the moon smiles back. Sitting around a campfire with guitar, strumming the words to soft hearts and playing Elvis songs. The stars twinkling like a wink from my best friend. I wanted long nights, not interrupted by a howl, but enhanced by one, and knowing the answering howl meant that there was one less lonely soul in this great world around me. Staying up till dawn to see the sunrise, as colorful as the imagination is deep. Holding hands with my best friend, knowing that even if we fight, there'll be s'mores at the end of the night and a new journey the next day to lead us onto paths unknown. The wild means I don't have to know where I'm going. I can appreciate the nature around me as I roast hot dogs over the fire, birds singing goodnight and owls saying hello. Skipping rocks into rivers, ripples growing, scattering fish underneath into flurries of movement, excitement into this otherwise peaceful place. Wilderness for days on a trip with no worries.
So
Sweaty Sunday mornings. My backside seared to the hard wooden pew. The gossiping 40-something church ladies doing what they do best. Bored teenagers dragged along by their parents. The still unmarried men in their late 20s trolling for wives, but it's slim pickings here. My father speaking proudly from his lectern, apparently ignorant of the heathens he preaches to. The fans drone incessantly, trying their best to move the thick Sydney air. The rotund soprano singer marches to the front to take her place. Hallelujah. Uncomfortable small talk with people I barely know, walking circles around this hallowed hall, sipping weak instant coffee and nibbling on a fruit scroll. I only want to escape these weekly sacraments. I'm trapped in a fishbowl, eyes watching every move. There is no God here. Hours pass, my weekly duties completed, alone at last. I light the candles and allow their fragrance to wash me clean. The soft breeze whispers through the window as the sun sets and darkness closes in. I lock the door, finally at peace, finally alone with him. Welcome to church. I remember when I realized that church was not found in a building. It was not found in small talk and fruit scrolls, forced smiles and staring eyes, or even attendance for the appearance of righteousness. I found church in my bedroom, on my knees, alone, on a day that had begun as just like any other, sweaty Sunday morning.
We were walking to our train stop when suddenly her legs dropped, followed by her body, plop. Her toe had stubbed a little rock. This beautiful girl, my arm around her 1 second. Now she's in pain, but what happened next? Man, life is insane. This small little moment jogged my memory. It was intense, surprising, seeing my life through her eyes, and it was frightening. The tears in her eyes becoming heavier. She was trying to fight them. I held her in my arms. We sit down, she collapsed in my lap and bursts out crying. As I pat her head, I think, wow, it's been a long time since I've done that. Crying. I'm taken back. I start thinking of facts. I know it's fine for me to act like that. A display of emotion, a perfectly fine way of coping. But in these moments, I would act different. But why? But why? But why? Is it because I'm a guy? I think to myself, boys didn't cry at first, but now they do. Sensitive new age men are totally allowed to. But I look at myself and I hardly do. Sometimes when my mind is chaos, I think, this is the time. This is the time anyone in their right mind would cry. But my body refrains even when I'm conflicted with similar pain. Is something about me and this girl not the same? I too get moods where shedding tears feels like it's got things to gain. Closure or composure to know that I'm sane. I get swamped by articles telling me how to act, but I don't need to cry about anything because I'm hard, and that's fact. Or is that bullcrap? I was glad I was there to comfort her fall. I wrote down my thoughts, reflected on them, and told her them all.
Wishing you well. Think. Can you remember the last time someone wished you well? I mean, really cared that you were there, aware of the air you breathe, your desire to achieve, tell you they believe in you. Spoke considerate locutions designed to send you into the world with courage, courtesy and candour, to secure the means, to procure your dreams without any expectation that they should benefit. When did our inhabitants become so seedy, needy and greedy? To obtain the people's spirit by relegating wishing someone well to a moribund, replacing it with half-hearted utterances cloaked in resentful innuendo. Meanwhile, we each sit in silent contemplation, waiting for the warming sensation imparted from the yearning of a valediction that includes a benediction and not a masked prediction of malediction. So let me take the lead, feed your bucket with a deed that heeds the voiceless pleads and weeds out the reeds to create a new breed. let me cast your way a limitless ray of unequivocal and wholehearted blessings. I wish you well.
My big, stupid flank steak of a heart, a buffoon in a yellow stack hat in the dark, accidentally on purpose touching you while I boof into everyone on the 96 tram with my backpack still on. Always in the way. Can you tell? Dumb tears swelling. Nothing ever comes out, except maybe a foghorn from a sad clown on the back road of a rainy route to nowhere. I am the sound you make when a beautiful young Melbourne University med student carefully examines the warts on your cock, her makeup impeccable as you stand helpless and limp with your shoes and socks still on. Honk. It's idiotic to love you, and sad that there's not a better way to say it, when the breeze is gentle and the sun hangs low over rice fields, or something. It's just a smidge, but still. I'm curious about the smell of your skin, so I'd better pick up my knee pads and make for the door on my cosmic skateboard of mediocre tragedy, because at breakneck speed, otherwise I will swoon down highways of anticipation and regret. I can feel it coming on as I try to hold my face up and remind myself that this feeling, like the 96 tram and everything else before it, will pass. Southern Cross Station, 4 p.m. Someone's gone and thrown themselves off the platform again, smashed the life right out of them for sure, nosedived good and hard into oblivion amid the concrete and the briefcases and the bovine absurdity of the daily commute from work. Oh, stingy world. I lumber fat and stupid through the turnstile as a uniformed man screams nonsense into a microphone and the authorised officers use their bodies like buildings as they move us along. Get back, crime scene. Dazed, I look around. Woolies, sweet shop, takeaway, newsagent, sweet, vile ecosystem. Who will clean up the mess? We are herded to the only available escalator, pressed up against each other, but we can't look at each other in the eye for even a heartbeat. Furtive, embarrassed, scurrying, our little flip-flop hearts. And even the sight of dandruff on a middle-aged man's suit, the cantering walk of a young woman in heels, the way a stranger tears at a nail with her teeth while making a phone call, tells that we are all so vulnerable, so completely absurd, that it's a miracle we've managed to drag ourselves this far. I can only hope our flying comrade copped a glimpse of something immense, something celestial, as the train mangled her earthly self. Or that at least it felt nice to lay down and rest a while. We've all been working so hard. I board the quiet carriage of the express train to Epsom and got back an Oedipal howl, because the line between sane and insane is so thin, and I'm too tired to cross it this afternoon. And more than that, if I were to really let it rip, what scares me most is that for all our stamina and endurance, our self-preserving tendencies and general politeness, probably no one would do anything. We'd all just sit there with our books and devices, facing determinedly forward against the squall of my lungs. And even though I'd have my suspicions, I still wouldn't truly know if I were crazy or not. And maybe I wouldn't even know when I'd had enough of the screaming. What if I went on forever? The dead girl will always be dead. But when I arrive at Southern Cross Station at 7:15 tomorrow morning, there will be no trace of her.
I've been hustling, I've been moving, babe. Life fast, feel just like the 80s. I'm losing friends like I'm in a war. But this war goes deeper than what they fighting for. How you choosing drugs over me? Fighting with myself, I might just catch a B.O.B. Why? I just wanna be me, yeah, the best version. But sometimes I break down, failure got me hurting. I'm a slave to my old ways. Gotta find the courage to go and break these chains. I know that it's in me, gotta find my strength. I'ma fight till the finish, hustling every day, grinding. That's every day, family. That's everything. I'm a man of God in every way. I'ma put on for my brother, man, I love you, Jay. Grinding, grinding, that's every day. Family, family, that's everything. I'm a man of God in every way. I'ma put on for my brother, man, I miss you, Jay. You're my enemy, that be suicide. Gotta beat myself, this here do or die. I've been living a life of unfulfilled dreams. But it seems I'm a slave to my old ways. Gotta wake up early, I gotta seize the day. I gotta bow down, I gotta keep the faith. And remember we had dreams, me and my brother Jay. Grinding, that's every day. Family, oh yeah, that's everything. I'm a man of God in every way. I'ma put on for my brother, man, I miss you, Jay.
The voice lies dormant, the esophagus shakes, death rattles, gurgling or gargling. Is she drowning in her own rotten fluid? They get so small at this stage. I was so tall, I could have dropped down and picked her off the floor. I could have learned what she said. The bloodline thins out, along with that voice. A long way now. Shrunken heads in two big beds, and frames so small. She's taking my breath. I don't mind at all.
We're not alone. My friend Stewie is a believer. He tried to convert me, but I didn't want to hear it. Because he's been reading books by Timothy Leary and subscribing to conspiracy theories for as long as I can remember. Last time it was JFK's assassination and fabrications about political nominations, a fascination with fluoride and vaccine shots. Stop, 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 stop! I said, listen, Stu, it cannot be, but he's telling me. He's telling me we're not alone. Not just a giant piece of rock orbiting around the sun until our days are done, aimlessly circling life in this endless atmosphere, fear. We're not alone. You've heard of Area 51? There's a CIA agent who confirmed it with the papers. They're communicating and exchanging intergalactic relations, and the government's just waiting until the time is right to let us know. No. We're not alone. Look, I know this sounds crazy, but it's true. I even saw a UFO the other day which proves if you open your view, they'll communicate with you. They created iPhones and drones. They're here to help, I know, so we don't destroy ourselves and implode into nothingness, empty nothingness, unknown nothingness. No. We're not alone. So when our sun eventually explodes, destroying New York and Rome, the Milky Way, our home, and any trace of mankind is gone, I hope I'm in a galaxy far from our own, flying in a UFO next to Stewie, just so he can say, I told you so. We're not alone.
Outside lies strength and confidence. There, this ability to make others cry. A soul carefree, kind and giving, never sheds a tear, carries no heart. My weapon, an undefeated soul. In truth, on the inside, lies in deceit. A slow beat. A ship crushed by the sea's currents, tears and heartache. A Titanic drowning in the midst of icebergs. A soul torn by words and insecurities. It was the beginning. I remember how he looked at me. He didn't even know me. He assumed to know, without even getting to know me. And then he started telling others how he needs to be careful when he speaks to me. How he never had to be careful when speaking to others. You're so negative. Stop being so negative, he would say. You're making a big deal out of nothing. Why are you so sensitive? And there circles agony forever. Sometimes it's a smile, the face you make when you cannot express those thousand words, thousand emotions. You turn away, for many misunderstand your undying pain. The anger and hatred you feel will obliterate others in your wake. Why is it that you run and run, yet never catch up to what you're after? Why is it that without the ability to swim, you choose to dive right in? How is it that after fall, you end up getting up, dusting off, and choose to continue on? Why not instead you stay down? Why not crawl or lay in your tears? Instead you hope and believe to be let down again, at times gently, whilst others not so. You're pushed and prodded and pressured. You feel as though the ground, the tiles are now a part of your body. It's an extension of your legs, the slap of your shoes. It's a connection, clapping. And your shadow, proof there's relation. I see it now, the surface of me. No matter what they say, it will always look the same. I will always look the same, be the same. It's me. That shadow there, the silhouette of dreams, a writer, poet. Not the girl who makes people cry, not the sensitive, negative one who does not try. After many, many falls, I continue to rise. I'm a cloud filled with tears, thunder, lightning, and at times sunshine. And you should carry an umbrella, just in case. Don't say I didn't warn you.
Tallangatta. At 6%, the skeletons of dead trees stuck from the lake like root bones. Fish drowned for want of water. They died, choking on mud, their beauty useless. Far up in the barren hills, we were deserted like summer homes in winter. We were wheat fields on the moon. We watched death come and knew we could not let ourselves die like they died. We fled in the jagged space between one breath and the next.
Barajo gatas. Saco un gata de la baraja placer. Oyare. Goza de diablos eléctricos. Tu piel contra la mía cría milagros. Ulysses tells Sheehy about a cauldron of electric devils. Sheehy thinks Sheehy knows what he means. A while ago, there was a hypnotism, like, you know those lava lamps? You know how they break apart and come together, flow, never separating, masses of flesh writhing. Sheehy was there, watching color gradients on an oversized bed, the plastic tops, the condom balls, the slick sweat sheen, leather on latex, on fur, on velvet, on Sheehy, all bodies on Sheehy. And lurking in a corner, he leant over, molten words dripped down lips, chin, chest, onto Sheehy's hands in need of an exorcist. Halogen lights do terrible things to your skin. Sheehy follows, reclines on the gurney, finger, thumb, tongue, pointed at base level, commence. Flows thick now, thick and fast, in dreamlike stupor, in anti-breath, draws an audience, thousands of eyes viewing the performance. Sheehy cracks, forms cracks on repeat. Loop cycle, the peak. Every fiber, every cell, every atom vibrates. Oyara.
On the side of his neck. Thumb cocked at the joint fits perfectly into the groove from which the spinal column cascades. I send him diving, head first into the pavement. It cracks open his skull and spills out of its strings of pink and red and mucus strips onto the sidewalk. For the swooping gulls, their crow companions pick at his hypothalamus, his hippocampus, and his inability to control his fists, driven by his lack of authority over his rage, and I watch him bleed out. Then I wake up. He drags me to self-proclaimed healers who wear melons as their necklace. Lofty, they threaten the oppression of supposed demons. Whose demons? What demons? Whose are these demons? Who is the demon? They present us to false prophets. At congregations of blind men and women and fools who seek to be saved, laboring under the delusion that the way we are, laboring under the delusion of the misinformed masses that the way we are is wrong and punishable, when what we need saving from is them. and their outdated ideas that the way we are diseased and can't be fixed. You won't catch me again falling to the graze of another man's lips, falling to my knees at the sight of his girth weakened after its pulsating release. I'm sorry. Forgive me my transgressions, Father, as I forgive those. As I forgive those who raise their palms and lay their hands on who they claim are sick, because we do not fit in to their compartments. Our desires defy the sanctity of marriage. Consummation through sodomization is the abomination that causes desolation. Sly, cunning men, you will fall. The atrocities you commit are the true transgressions against us, who predate Eve and Adam in your original sin stories, crafted, canonized by cowards. And your flames of hatred shall we douse through the clapping of our wings. In my dream again that night, I am Jennifer Lopez in Enough. Enough, and I swipe my right foot across his left cheek. He falls and I stand over him in black combat boots and tights that grip my thighs and cling to my cheeks. And he has no words left to question my manhood or why I walk with a twist or I flail at the wrist. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you.
I imagine this world so dark that we can't see anything. No silhouette, no face, no shape, no figure. Maybe just a form, another form of life. It would not matter how we look, black, white, yellow, red, or green, or blue. I wish they would not call it how they do or how they see. I imagine this world in which we would all look the same. We could all be purple, maybe purple blue.
Or maybe we could pull the inside outside, and I wish so deeply there would be just words in the darkness, or some concrete, or maybe just silence. But once the day begins, it's like a pain in the chest.
As a human, we seek a lawful to regulate our behavior according to the norms of the market. And the market says, sell yourself or just your appearance. Are you eager to instrumentalize yourself? They call it, they brand it, they don't know. People keep talking about things they see, and they believe they are right. They think they are right, but do they know other perceptions? They think they see, appearances are deceptive. It's all about perception, and so I don't want to speak about those who are not perceived. So I quote them, and they said we're stuck at the foot of a wall with no doors, thinking nonetheless. They think they are right. They think they are right, nonetheless. They think they are right, nonetheless. They think they are right, nonetheless.
Are you eager to instrumentalize yourself?
I lost connection. I won't tell anyone how I feel. Feeling safe, trying hard to rehearse.
I imagine this world where there's no surface. Impression can't be judged, and nobody tells you you look like a strawberry, or a douchebag, or a flower. You can only listen and speak and be quiet, and that's why we travel in the night. We take off, we land, and the tree branch reminds me of the human veins, the pulsate wings of humans. Ghosts, I wish. I wish we are all ghosts. Nothing about the surface. Nothing to admire on the surface. As a human, we seek above all to regulate our behavior according to the norms of the market. And the market says, sell yourself.
Ghosts, I wish. Ghosts, I wish. Instrumentalize yourself.
And somehow, they told me, identity is how you look. They told me that. And I looked in the mirror, and I did not see my soul. I just saw this person, the person I am, the face I have, but not the words I said, or did not say. The hate I have against the superficial world, and the hate I have, even if I know there's no such as. So it's nice to be part of the environment. And still these soldiers stand at the corner, and I know they shoot, and I think they're afraid of their inner conflict. Maybe that's why they do battle. They deny that there is nothing forage. There is nothing forage at all. We're all transcultural, we're all brothers and sisters, but some deny their whole lives and start to hate, and that's why they hate. It would not matter how we look, black, white, yellow, red, or green, or blue. I imagine this world in which we would all look the same. We could all be purple, maybe purple blue. It's all